South Asian American celebrities are coming together for a presidential campaign. The morning show actress Janina Gavankar, alongside Mindy Kaling, Kumail Nanjiani, and many other figures, are taking part in the South Asian Block Party, the official Biden-Harris South Asian fundraiser and Get Out the Vote national event. Here to tell us more is the event organizer, Rajan Shah, and actress Janina Gavankar. Great to have you both with us here today. Rajan, I'll start with you. So I understand ticket prices start at just about $20 for students, so it seems like this event is quite accessible. What is the mission of this virtual block party overall?
Hey, Nora, it's great to be here, so appreciate you having us. Look, we have multiple goals here. We are, one, really excited to be able to bring the entire community together to unite behind Biden-Harris and that campaign. We've had South Asians really accomplish a great deal in the industry, and I think everyone finally felt like we had achieved a great deal in terms of being part of pop culture and how do we use our voice to make positive change. And obviously for us, we felt like this was the perfect opportunity to come together to help bring Biden-Harris to the White House.
Yeah, and Janina, it's not just, movie and TV stars like yourself, but we see leaders in venture capital, entrepreneurs, business founders, etc., taking part. What has been the appetite amongst yourself and your peers in trying to get involved in this kind of political activism, especially around South Asian Americans?
Well, first of all, not everybody has to be politically active. This is not mandatory for everybody, but we have found that every single person we asked to be a part of this said yes. And that is not arbitrary, and these aren't just celebrities. In fact, I don't even understand what the word celebrity means. What are we celebrating? Most of these people are artists. They're writers, they're actors, they're musicians. And as artists, when the environment is unhealthy, we chirp first. We are the canaries in the coal mine. So it makes sense that we would speak up in this moment and come together and really support the candidate that we believe respects us the most.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Rajan, Senator Harris is the first Asian American to be on a major presidential ticket. How do you think her role in this race has really spurred South Asians, perhaps in some ways for the first time, to really get this involved in the presidential election?
Nora, you're absolutely right. I think it's unprecedented. Has excited the South Asian community like you wouldn't believe. All of us are either immigrants or sons and daughters of immigrants. For us, this is a nation of immigrants, and we're so proud to be American. To be able to have someone like Senator Kamala Harris, who's gone through that experience most recently as the daughter of a Jamaican and a South Asian or an Indian American woman, is incredibly inspiring. And it makes us believe that this campaign for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris really share the same values that we do as a nation of immigrants, and really will see the world through the same lens that we see the world, and the power of diversity in America. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have, as Janina was mentioning, such incredible response from all of the South Asians across the diaspora that are involved in all aspects of arts, music, entertainment, television, film, as we share that common purpose as Americans.
Yeah, let's focus in on this demo a little bit more. Janina, about 5% of the nation's eligible voters are Asian American. It's the fastest growing segment of eligible voters out of any major racial and ethnic group. That's according to Pew, more than doubling in the last 20 years. But there is this sentiment that politicians tend to ignore or overlook the Asian American population. Do you feel like politicians today are speaking to this demographic, and what can be done differently to better support this group?
Some of them are. And those that speak to us, we're listening. We are a growing population. We are a giant population across the globe. We are legion. So it is really important that we band together and make sure that we are speaking as one and supporting those that support us. Yeah.
The other thing I would add, Nora, if I can, in addition to that, we should look at this not just globally, but also in America. There are over 4.7 million South Asians across the country. 500,000 of them actually live in battleground states. So if you think about that, we actually can make the difference. We actually are the difference. If you look at a state like Michigan, as an example, Trump won Michigan by 10,000 votes. We have 120,000 South Asians in Michigan alone. You had Pennsylvania where Trump won by 40,000 votes, but we have 150,000 South Asian votes there. So people think of South Asians as being kind of in New York or in LA. I'm in New York, Janina is in Los Angeles. But South Asians are populating cities across the country in some of the most important states when it comes to elections. And that's, I think, one of the reasons, as Janina says, we're a legion. I think that is so important for us to kind of together be thinking about the impact that we can make if we just get out and vote, which is part of the objective. And of course, in addition to raising funds for the campaign, which are so critical here in the last stretch.
Well, speaking of the
But
impact
you bring
of
up
this, go ahead.
But you bring up a great point. You know, there are people who ignore us. And as time goes on, and as our generation gets older, some people are going to notice how much power we have as a minority.
And overall, I just want to zoom out finally. We are seeing obviously renewed conversations around racial injustices across our nation, especially amongst Black Americans, which has forced South Asian groups, my own communities, I'm Bangladeshi American, to really confront internalized racism within South Asian communities. Rajan, I'll give this question to you. What are some conversations you've been having to try to make sure that this demo, South Asian Americans, are also trying to address systemic racism across the country?
No, you're absolutely right. I think BLM was a real pivotal moment for our community. And in many ways, you'll find a lot of younger South Asians in the South Asian community that have really stepped up to be part of the BLM movement. And I've been nothing short of proud to see the activism among so many parts of our community when it comes to this issue. Even in planning this event, the South Asian Bloc Party for the Biden-Harris campaign, a lot of the speakers are going to be touching on these issues. We have a young American who's Sikh who went viral this year during at the peak of the BLM movement, when he talked about we as South Asians need to look at ourselves and what role we play in some of these issues around justice and equality, including when it comes to the African American and Black community. And that video went viral, and he is going to be joining us on Wednesday night to share his point of view about this. So I think this is an issue that we all care about. I was on the phone with Janina last night just talking about this interview with you, Nora. This is everything Janina was talking about. Like, this is a moment where we need to band together as one and realize that we share more with the Black community and the Black Lives Matter community and that platform than really any other community right now, because we share so much as a community in terms of the issues that face us. And we just got to realize that we're all one as people of color here in this country.
All right, thank you both so much for your time today. Really excited for the event. That's South Asian Bloc Party organizer Rajan Shah and actress Janina Gavankar. The virtual event takes place October 14th. Thanks again.